We're live.
We're live.
And welcome back to another episode of The Purple Pill.
Did we say that last time?
No, maybe.
Uh-oh.
You know, we can always edit them and put them back in there later.
Yes,
like,
indeed.
I'm definitely going to edit all of these. I'm going to find someone to edit them. Anyways.
Yes. Seeking editor.
Question of the day.
The question that you loathe.
I loathe this question. As a woman, I think most women hate this question. But most women hate this question for different reasons than
Fair.
why I hate this question. And I hate this question in the way that I'm going to answer this question. What do you bring to the table? So, my whole stance on that question is I can never just answer that question. It is not going to be a typical question. You have women who will say, oh, I cook, I clean, I do this, I do that. And it's like that. What a woman brings to the table is not tangible. Mm-hmm. And it should never be tangible. Cooking and cleaning is not what I bring to the table. Cooking and cleaning is a part of providing you a safe and comfortable, relaxing place filled with peace.
Yes.
And so with that, I can bring that to the table. But what I bring to the table is going to vary based off of what your needs are. And I may not be able to meet your needs, and therefore I might not bring anything to the table that you want or need. Let's say that you have dietary restrictions and you are a carnivore diet. I can bring meat, cheese, eggs, dairy, all that stuff to the table. But if I'm bringing bread to the table, it's not good for you, right? If you're allergic to peanuts and that's all I have to bring to the table, then we're not compatible.
Right.
And so with that being said, as far as what do you bring to the table, one thing I think men are always in search of is peace. And so because of that, I think that is something that if a person, period, cannot bring peace to themselves, they cannot bring you peace. That is impossible.
Yep.
And when you see them and you see how their life is, and you see, especially when their life is chaotic and they very seldomly get stressed and they are like, it's fine, I'll just deal with it, I'll figure it out. They can bring you peace. But it's like, oh, they did this, they did that, da, 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 da. They're not bringing peace. They're not able to do that.
That's fair.
So that is why I hate the question, because I cannot give you, if somebody randomly says, what do you bring to the table? What do you need? Like, that's literally...
And I've never in my life, of all the videos I've seen of people being asked, which are hundreds of people, no one's ever asked, what do you need? And to me, that's the correct answer. Because if a woman's operating in her feminine narrative and a man is the leader, she would ask from a submissive standpoint, what do you need?
Right.
That is the answer.
Yeah. So, and I may not be able to provide what you need, if I'm being honest. But I won't know that until we at least have a conversation, maybe, coffee or something, and get to know each other.
The start of a relationship.
And, right. And it's like, and that's fine. If I cannot bring what you need, that's totally fine. Maybe you're a cool person. Maybe we can be friends or whatever, but we can't cross certain lines because I don't have what you need.
Right.
And it's a waste of both of our times. It's a waste of both of whatever. So it's like, okay,
And I that's so cool. That's why I was so excited to see what your answer is going to be, because
I know you were waiting for it.
Yeah, that's why I didn't even say anything when you brought up the topic. I was like, off camera, okay, what are you going to say? No, I wanted to save it because I wanted my reaction to be very natural, and I feel very giddy inside because I knew it was going to be something anti-mainstream, and I appreciate that because it's so refreshing to see a female be able to be so real in the state of that question versus I am the table, like that is it's such a turnoff to a lot of us because it's like, yeah, if you're on all fours, then that's what, that's what we that's where we go. If you want to be that way, we can be that way too. But like, yeah, you freaking cracked the guy. I hope this goes viral. You cracked the code. What do you bring to the table? What do you need?
For my editor.
Yeah.
Hint,
Future
hint,
editor.
no.
Yeah. What do you need? Like that is by far the ultimate answer because
mean-
it's a nuanced question.
Right. Now, it's funny because in general, men are going to bring the same thing.
They should.
Every man brings the same thing.
Correct.
In general.
Correct.
In general. But every woman brings a different thing depending on what that man needs. And that is true in relationships because I can be a different version of me. I'm never not me. I'm very much authentically myself, but the more parts of me that you see, if you're only seeing one side of me, you're probably not multifaceted, you're doing something, whatever the case is. But as far as that goes, like, I can bring what you need as long as I know, and you're also bringing me that essentially above anything, it's not even providing like, oh, pay my bills, but it's providing that sense of security.
Yes.
And that's what I think a lot of people, men and women, don't fully understand.
Correct.
Like, if I feel safe enough with you, you will get parts of me the world never sees.
100%. Because you can't be that version of you in public.
Exactly. And I can't be that version of me with everybody. And so if you're doing that, once you see that side of me, and even if it's just a moment that you get to see and it's something that you never knew that kind of surprised you, like you never knew that I was traumatized in a way, or you never knew that I had this relationship with my father like that, or that, just anything that is definitely like something deeper that you just don't necessarily just start talking about. Like, there's a reason that I got to that point. If you get to that point, you want to keep that. But so many people won't keep it. They're okay with losing it because they don't understand that sense of safety that you provided, and they provided. And because they don't understand that sense of safety that they provided, they're not going to be able to provide it again.
Ooh.
It was just a fleeting moment of safe and security. So it's not so much about, because if I feel safe and secure with you, I am also going to, what you make doesn't matter, because if something happens, I feel safe enough and secure that I can support you when you're down.
Yep.
And because there are things that, you ask, what do you bring to the table? You never know what that person might need in the future. And if you make me feel so safe and secure with you, we could be living in a studio apartment with 3 kids and be great and have a great life.
Right. Well, because that dynamic, there's balance in that dynamic. And balance, let me go into my specialty of cars. If we look at a very well balanced motor, it's capable of reaching higher RPMs. And so when you look at a balanced relationship, it's able to reach a higher frequency, and without subjugation to failure. So with a motor that's balanced, it's not going to. You could rev it for a long time and not see a piston, crash into why is that word escaping me?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Why
is it not there?
It
Valve.
causes a misfire.
Sorry, valve.
Yeah, it can cause a misfire too.
It can cause a misfire too. Yeah, So. And
see, I know a little something about
hey.
that.
So yeah, you can have a misfire, and guess what? That happens in communication. That happens in relationships.
Oh, all the time.
All
the time.
AKA timing being off, right? And that's okay so long as you have the dynamic of communication to where you can address it properly. Talk it out. Okay, I see what happened. Sorry about that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here's some, I see so many like memes and reels and stuff about women and accountability.
Okay.
And so the women I know that are in my corner, they can take accountability. I admit when I'm wrong, I apologize. And anybody who knows me knows that if I really believe I'm wrong, I apologize. Every once in a while, this is where it is hard for me to do. Okay. I truly believe that being right with someone is more important than being right. And because of that, every once in a while, you'll get a good apology where it's like, my intentions were never to offend you. And I'm sorry that it went that way. or something like that. Like, it's not, I'm still not apologizing for what I did or said.
Yeah, more so towards.
Because I'm not sorry about what I did or said.
Right.
My intentions were never to hurt you, and I apologize that I caused you pain and that I hurt you, because that's never my intentions for anybody.
Right.
Even when I'm angry, there's a lot of things I don't say, even though I still say stupid stuff. I still have, everybody has their moments. But I never, ever, ever, like, ever mean to hurt you. Like, I do not come from a place of ill will. I come from a place of love and truth. And that is how I operate. And that's why I'm so genuine as a person. But in general, it doesn't mean I'm perfect. It don't mean I say the right things or do the right things. And there are times when I'm broken, and it's not that I'm hurt people, but I might not know what I'm doing to you. And
in the moment.
Right. And so there's those, but yeah, women and accountability, I think is huge.
Mm-hmm. You know, they say it's the woman's kryptonite, but like, I also think it doesn't have to be that way. Yeah. Like, obviously it's a saying, it's not true, but because of what we, like we said last episode, allowed, you know,
yeah.
Unfortunately there is a lot of rampant, craziness happening that forces a question, what do you bring to the table, to be asked, which I think, I'm just going to go on a limb here and say that it was designed to kind of put women in their place, because in the original question,
Okay.
it was asked, what do you bring to the table? Don't say sex or you know, my punani, you know. And then they'd be like,
See,
you
that's
know,
not even on my list of what I bring to the table. That's
these
a
girls
given.
would be like, you know, or sorry, they would say, don't bring up sex and don't say I'm at the table. When you do that, they're like, and so
That's
a lot of these
crazy.
videos, yeah. So
I believe it though. I think I've seen one or two videos like that. I wouldn't say that.
And
I know
again,
it's like widely.
you know, like a reason why, you know, you're still an outlier. You just said I wouldn't even consider that.
Yeah, like that's not like clearly, as a wife. Okay, I'm not talking about in a relationship. Okay, because a relationship, in my opinion, my view, based off my beliefs, a relationship that's pleasing to God would not have sex in it premaritally. Have I had premarital sex? Yes, I have. Okay, like I'm not, okay, let's be honest. But I've also been married, and I've also waited. So there's different aspects to it, or whatever the case is. But with that being said, when I am married, it is my duty to give up the booty. Okay, like I'm sorry, like as a married woman, it is you, like there are definitely circumstances where you tell your husband no.
Yeah.
Okay. But me not really being in the mood, if that's something that's constant, now there could be a time where we need to understand each other, whatever the case is, but it is my duty to give up the booty. We are one, and my body is not my own, and therefore he has rights over my body. Now, excuse me, I'm not going on any extreme thing right now and saying anything extreme or not extreme doesn't happen. But in general, it is not my place. Like when you say you're sleeping on the couch and you're not getting none.
Oh, that's weird.
Never. I've never done that, because that is not right. That is also, yeah, that is how you also let your husband say, hey, it's fine, go sleep with somebody else. Like that's what I think. Like that is, you never do that. It is never, withholding is never punishment in marriage. We don't punish, we work together. It's me and you against the problem, not the problem, not me and you are the problem.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So there are things that I definitely agree with or don't agree with, or whatever my perspective is. So yeah, so that's why I would never bring that, because as much as you want it, I mean, are there going to be times, of course, you know, whether women are on their monthly or they're not feeling good or whatever.
That should be understandable.
Right. And then if I got real issues, I always got a headache, we need to go to the doctor.
Right.
Like, what's going on? Like, we need to go to the doctor. Like, that is not my place. I mean, it's not my place to deny like that.
Yeah,
I just don't.
Out of spite or.
Yeah. I just don't. I don't believe in that. You know, it says that there is a time and a place, and that is a time for prayer and fasting. Now, again, like I said, if I'm sick, of course, I would hope that you understand, and because I picked the right person, I know that he loves and cares for me, because that's something people don't understand. Protect and provide, providing security, providing safety, providing mental and all this stuff, support and stability. You're providing a place for me to be okay to not, you know, for a night. And people don't understand. Providing is not just financially.
No.
There are so many levels to providing. So And protecting is not just, you have to protect my peace like I need to protect yours.
Right.
You have to protect my mind like I should be able
More
to try
so
to protect yours.
because the minute that a man is unable to make you feel protected, the woman naturally assumes a more masculine role. It takes her out of her energetic resonance. And then unfortunately, now you are tired because you're mentally in a state of
Right, right, right,
mind
right,
that
right.
you shouldn't be in.
Right.
And so you do bring a level of fatigue. There it is. That you were,
Right.
so yeah. And that, again, now that's caused, if a man's not operating his role, that's his fault.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, anyways, so what do you bring to the table? What a woman brings to the table is never tangible. A woman never brings something to the table that is tangible. If that was the case, she is easily replaceable. There is a reason why, out of the divorce rate, 70 to 80% of divorces are filed by women.
Yep.
Okay. And I say this because what the man brings to the table is typically tangible.
Yep.
It is. And so whenever he falls short in those areas, but women want something that's not tangible.
True.
So when he fails in those areas of emotion, she steps out, whatever the case is. And I'm not saying anything. Again, I've been divorced before. Okay. I filed for divorce and I've had divorce filed against me. So it's not, I've been there, done that, whatever. But in general, the men are not going to file and they're going to stick it out.
Yeah.
They're going to deal with it. They're going
Now,
to.
it's also, sorry to interrupt, there's
No, you're
also
fine.
a phrase, it's cheaper to keep her, that we say.
I mean,
And that's, because,
Depending.
and by the way, I'm not pro-marriage by any means because of the laws.
and I'm so pro marriage.
Yeah, yeah. So and it's because of the laws and how they're set right now.
So get a prenup.
Prenups are being destroyed right now inside the courts. They found ways around that. Now, not
they
all
find
of them.
ways. You need to make sure they file a prenup. File your prenup months in advance, like when you propose. Because one of the biggest things they try to do, they will bring the prenup to you right before you get married. Whether you've had time to look at it or not, that is not the time to sign. So you make sure it's signed months before so it doesn't seem like you signed it in distress, which is the number one argument.
Yeah.
So the number one thing that is destroying prenups, any prenup, is the fact that they had them sign it on their wedding day.
Okay. Because I don't know these things, by the way. So, I just
Like
know
a
that they're
week
not
before.
working. Okay.
So it's not that they're being destroyed, because in a lot of cases they're not. Or there were changes that were not in the prenup,
Okay.
i.e. children. So one thing you can do is write, if we have children, we agree to 50-50 custody, and child support will be based off of the income at that time. You know what I'm saying? So there are definitely stipulations you can also put for the future, but they're not putting, they're just covering money and they're not covering children, or maybe they're covering years. Some of them do cover children, like the richer people cover, if we have one child together, she will receive this much. If we have two, she'll receive that much. And so with that, it's like, okay, so there is a prenup in place for children, but most everyday people that are doing prenups don't know how to do prenups because it's not something that they do.
One, it's not something you should do on your own.
So, right. Like, hire an attorney for that. So when it comes to the prenups, don't have some. And actually, I'm down for, I'm okay to sign a prenup as long as we talk about it. The thing is, you both need your own lawyer because the prenup should protect both of you.
Right.
It should not just protect, it should not be like, if she leaves me, then I get everything. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you should just people should be able to just walk away and get what they brought, Now, if you buy a house together.
And see, this is where I kind of disagree. Now let me say this. Out of me being divorced, however many times, I have never asked for anything outside of child support. Okay. Child support is court mandated when you're married anyways.
Okay.
So the court, and I just let the court decide whatever the court thinks is fair. Okay. Regardless if it's fair or not. I don't even care, because it's about you being able to provide something for your kid. Whenever I need something, you're there. And so with that being said, I got this house in the divorce.
Oh, wow.
He tried to sell it under me while we were still married, actually. And I got it because I paid for this house. We fixed his credit so he could get a loan, because he made more money than me. He made about $20,000 a year more than I did. So I paid everything to fix his credit, and then I put the money down for the house. I bought all the furniture. So my cash flow bought the house. His credit bought the house. Does that make sense? So, and in the paperwork somewhere it said his fiance. As a fiance, we are buying this together because that is a promise that I'm going to be your wife.
Yeah.
So, because of that and the way it was written, he could not sell it. So he tried. I forgot what it was, but I talked to my attorney. I was like, hey, I need this worded, whatever. So he tried and they were like, you can't do this without her consent. Cool. Outside of that, and we only bought the house like 2 months before we got married.
Oh,
so
cool.
it was like, we were buying this house for us to live in, to be married, to have a family. I did not like this house. This house is 5 minutes from my oldest daughter's grandparents. So I bought this house so she could be closer to her dad's family.
Oh, cool.
Okay. I mean, I agreed to buy this house with him. We looked at a lot of different houses. The houses was still pretty cheap back then. I mean, this was $132,000. So like and you see they're going for
Pre-COVID
260
prices.
pre-COVID prices. Yeah. So that being said, but when we got divorced, I didn't ask for alimony. I didn't ask for anything. The only reason why I wanted the house is because I didn't have the funds. I wasn't even working when I found out he was like cheating at the time. But I didn't have the funds to relocate.
Okay.
So, and I didn't want my daughter to change schools again. Because that's what she did. Every year, I moved once a year, whether she changed schools or not, since she was little. Oh, wow. So here she is. She finally has a school like 6th grade up. I was not willing to do that at this point. Outside of me getting the house that I didn't even really want, I just wanted to not relocate. I have never asked for anything in the divorce. And actually, I'm usually, out of 2 or 3 of my divorces, I'm the one that started over. By choice, because I don't care. I let them have everything. So I do understand, men being in a bad situation and stuff. And typically that's the case. I have 50-50 custody. It was no problem for me to have that. My ex-husband, Alicia's dad, my oldest, whenever he wanted her, almost anytime he wanted her outside of the parenting plan, he was able to have her. Nice. The only reason was because I had something going on, and then he went and fought me for more time. And it was just crazy. And I mean, I believe the father is extremely important. Yeah. And I believe that we need to figure out how to have the father present in these kids' lives. Yeah. Numbers don't lie. Right. I don't believe in taking everything away. But I would be okay with a prenup. As long as it protected me too, if we're married for X amount of years. And the thing is, he can't just marry me and divorce me either. Like, that needs to be something in there. We're married for...
why would you waste somebody's time like that?
People, I mean, honestly, my ex-husband wasting my time. Look, if I'm being honest...
Because a marriage is like $50,000 event, at least, right? Oh, no. $20,000 to $50,000.
I mean, I'm poor. I had a wedding once, and it was like $5,000.
How'd you pull that off?
My bestie is in a wedding community, so she was able to hook up a lot of things. I got stuff on sale. She was like, this dress is perfect for you. It's your size. You just need to get it altered some. Cool. I did my own DIY for a lot of things. Because I'm a veteran, I got this veterans hall, the Union Hall down in Union Hill, the Union Hill Hall. Okay. I got that for $250 because I was a veteran, and they used to be ran by Vietnam vets. Okay. So I got that for a discount. So I got a whole place for $250.
Yeah, that's usually the biggest
for the whole entire day. I had a smaller wedding. It was my cousin's mom was the caterer, so I paid her $600 to feed 100 people. So I was able to pull it off for about $5,000. And it's cool. And then I just got married in a garden with 2 people last time. Like, I got married, I had 2 witnesses, because you have to have 2 witnesses. Honestly, I would like to just, like, a destination wedding or, like, elope. I've done it all, so whatever my future husband wants, who wants all this baggage, he can have.
I wouldn't... do you know the word that comes to my mind? Pages.
Like pages of a book?
Yeah. So your book just have more pages than most.
I have a few more chapters.
Yes, chapters. There we go.
Might be a series.
And I get, dang. That's great. Because like because you don't have problems, you have issues.
That's true. I don't even have problems. I have no problems. I don't even know that I have issues. I have just things
Issues.
that
I was.
issues like magazines.
Yeah. So it's
Got it.
no reference.
Got it. Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, got it.
But yeah. No, yeah. And I guess that came to my mind because I was talking with a friend about judging a book by its cover and everything, and like for people.
But that's literally how you judge books. Like, okay.
Well, so for instance, one of my favorite authors, Robert Greene, the cover of his books are boring, right? He's the guy that did 48 Laws of Power, did a collaboration with 50 Cent, which was the 50th Power. He did, was it Laws of Human Nature?
I feel like I heard
like
it.
they're like
Okay,
a
Laws
lot
of
of the
Human Nature.
a lot of the elite guys like read those like the books because there's like just like it really kind of covers a dark triad. Traits.
When did cover art become a thing?
Cover art?
I shouldn't even ask. Never mind. This is gonna get us way off topic. I'm not going way off topic. What do you bring to the table? That's on the topic. Okay,
Yes.
so you bring a good book to the table. That's all that really matters.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's a fun read.
Oh.
No. Anyways, enough of the book references. But yeah, I like. I'm sorry, I can't get over it. What do you need? That is by far the best answer.
That I think. What do you need is because if I know what you need, I know if I can bring it.
And you know what I like about that?
What?
So when we first did this last week, one of the things you said when we were driving around was the woman, based on the guy's hobbies and stuff, what he's got going on, the woman kind of molds into that.
Yeah.
And it just goes right there. It fits right in hand, which is what do you
Right.
need? Because naturally, for instance, so all my exes, I was a car guy, and one of them in particular still drives a modified Del Sol. I think she still has it, and got into it because of me. She didn't give a crap about cars; they weren't on her radar at all. She was like a super nerd. And then with me being
Right.
in her life, boom! Now she bought a Del Sol. She's doing cool things to it and stuff, modifying. And she found her group of people once we stopped talking. And
Right.
now she's in the culture, and it's like so a guy should have that influence if he's about his stuff. And she'll
Now, when
mold
we
to that.
break up, you gotta unlearn all the cool shit I taught you. That's what-
But you know what? Real talk. There's a lot of emotionally immature people that I find actually remove themselves from experiences, activities because it reminds them of their ex.
No, you're right.
That's a thing.
That people definitely do that. It'd be like, this just reminds me. We used to hike all the time. We used to drink every Friday night, and I cannot drink on Fridays anymore.
There you go. Perfect example.
But
Yeah.
yeah, no. I think that, like I said, I think that men always bring the same thing to the table, but the level of what you bring is different.
Correct.
And even still with that, like, again, my list is an attractive, not fat man of God. I have to be able to see your relationship with Christ, and it's hard for me to do that because you can be attractive and I don't see that.
Yeah.
And I've been fooled before because they were attractive. You know what I'm saying? Like,
At least you're honest.
And there's other things like we have to vibe. We have to be able to carry on conversation. You can't just be like, oh, I go to church. Oh, okay, cool. And we can't have conversations. Like, it's weird.
Yeah.
People think that's enough. That's why the boring guys are not nice guys. It's different. There is a boring guy that is called the nice guy. And he's the one that says, good morning, beautiful. Good morning, beautiful. Good morning, beautiful. That's not a nice guy. That's a boring guy. And I say this because that is what he will do. And he tries to keep you talking to him without there being a real conversation. There has to be a real conversation. And I get that people don't get it or whatever. If you're sending me a message every morning, good morning, like, okay, I post on Snapchat pictures of me. I post what I'm doing. I talk about things, whatever. If I post there and then you say, oh, you're so beautiful, I just like the comment. That's nice. I don't want to be rude and like not whatever. Right. Sometimes I open and close because I'm busy and I just see, okay, you compliment back, whatever. I'm just going through messages. But like, I have people who will not message me onto my story, hey, how you doing? I don't know you. And they'll do it all the time. Mm-hmm. I don't know you. Why are you talking to me? Like, how was your day? I don't know you for me to unload my day on you.
Right.
Like that's weird to me because we haven't developed, hey.
And
who
the
you say
other
hey
thing
to?
too. Well, that only works. Oh, I'm not even going to go there.
On horses?
No, on Tinder. But
does it?
It's a whole nother story.
Okay.
So what's interesting is like with what you're sharing,
Mm-hmm.
you have some really cool topics. Like we met on sorry, it was Snapchat.
Mm-hmm.
We met on Snapchat, and you had some really cool topics, and I engaged in the
Right.
conversations.
And that's how
So,
we became friends.
Yeah, and it's like, so for you to say go on one of your rants, and then the person just responds with like, the good morning
Right,
or
right,
how's
right.
your day?
There are so
you
many
missed everything I just talked about.
Right. There are so many ways you can engage with me.
Yeah.
And you know that I'll be inclined to actually reply.
Yeah.
So you don't have a conversation. Hey, who? I don't know you. Now, okay, there are friends, like if Anna right now was to say, hey, I'd be like, oh, hey, what's up? I'd be like, what's up? What's going on? Kiki, hey, what's up? What's going on? You said, hey, I'd be like, hey, what's up? Because maybe you're trying to get my attention, see if I'm available, before
Yeah,
you want
something real
to,
quick.
you want to talk about something.
Right.
Hey, or, hey, do you have a minute or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
When you know somebody, hey is reserved for people you know.
True. Very true.
For people you know in real life. Period. That is all.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Don't
is-
bring hay to the table. I ain't got no horses.
unless it's anyways.
Unless it's what?
Unless it's 11 o'clock at night, then the hay is
Has different meanings.
Has different
Got it,
meanings.
got it,
Yep,
got it.
there you go. Yeah, I think that's very fascinating that you brought that up, and this is once again a misstep. I want to say a missight, because it's there's an oversight and a misstep, but
Mm-hmm.
it's both. It's men are lacking in social awareness and emotional awareness that keeps them from recognizing these what would seem to be common understandings of social engagement. And I feel horrible because unless you get desperate enough, like me, to wonder, why am I being ignored? Why am I being friend zoned? Blah, 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 blah. Until you recognize yourself as a problem and you decide to start to dive into ways to circumvent it and create solutions for your social dilemmas, you will never understand why you're failing, in that regard. And to be honest, let me tell myself, I still suck at displaying my personality via text. That's why I absolutely love voice messaging, because at least that way I can engage and be me, and you can hear my tonality and inflections in my response to you,
Right.
versus me trying to send a paragraph. Because
Oh, if it's a paragraph, I suck at texting paragraphs. And now, like, I'm gonna send a voice message. I have to send a voice message. How could I not?
Well, because like sometimes, what's the platform? Yeah, okay, I'm gonna go back to Tinder. Tinder doesn't allow you to send a voice message. So it's just like, well, how do I explain this? Or I don't know. It's weird. So, but yeah, I do believe that men lack.
I'm gonna download Tinder just to
It'd be interesting for you to see it.
see. Oh, I've been on Tinder before.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna download Tinder just to.
I figured you were a Christian Mingle kind of person.
We're gonna do. I did Christian Mingle. There's like nobody on there.
Oh.
I did Salt. There's like nobody on there.
Salt?
It's like another Christian dating site.
Okay.
I tried that stuff. Dating apps are just not for me.
Yeah. Well,
I meet people in real life. So if you meet people in real life, like, what do you need to go on? And every time I get on Tinder, I've gotten on Tinder in the past. They're like, you're like pretty in real life. You don't need to be here.
wow.
I'm like, oh, thank you. Like it's usually like, and then anybody I know, if I know you, I swipe right. Is right when you like somebody.
Yeah.
Just so you know that I see you, but
Okay.
not because I'm interested in you.
Okay.
And that got misconstrued with somebody once, and they thought that I liked them, and I did not like them.
That's funny.
It was just because I see that you're where
See,
I
I
am.
typically will swipe left out of respect. Like, okay, you doing your thing. Like, go do you.
No, I see you because people have done it to me. So I see you. Hi, we're both dating, but I'm not dating you. Like, it's
Man,
fine.
that's funny. But no, I will say in that regard, it's very because of apps like Tinder,
Right.
the table has been misconstrued in such a way, and I say that because if you put your best on a website like that, it can be negatively taken, which is weird because people like you and me who are just like,
Regular people?
no, hell no.
I'm not regular.
No, we're very extra in our own ways. To be fair,
Okay. That's
we're
fair.
like I'll
That's
be
fair.
real. Like you and I aren't really Kansas Cityans. Like, I mean, because
I think I am. What
you
they
don't-
know?
because like we vibe, and most Kansas Cityans don't get me. You know what I mean? Like, come on, don't give me that look.
I feel
I've
like
told you what I've been through.
I feel like though you would fit perfectly in like Crossroads downtown. Crossroads Crossroads Midtown.
That's my vibe.
You're a Crossroads Midtown Westport, but not after 9 p.m. kind of guy.
Correct. Yeah.
That
after
is
9 p.m.
you vibe in Kansas City. Crossroads Midtown, Crossroads to Westport, not after 9 p.m. unless it's First Fridays. That is you.
Yeah.
That is your vibe.
with the hint of the plaza, which I haven't been in a long time.
Okay, that's fair. I could see that. I mean,
But-
honestly, everybody, no matter how hood you are, even got a hint of the plaza because we all want to be bougie sometimes. We all got a hint of the plaza.
Yes. But like my thing is that there's a hive mind mentality in Kansas City.
There's a hive mind mentality everywhere. The hive mind is one of the most dangerous things.
I agree.
You've seen it's a reel that's going around, and it's a game called The Werewolf. And there's
Uh-uh.
another game.
Tell me about it.
So it's a game called The Werewolf where you have two werewolves. You have a group of people, and somebody picks the werewolf card, and everybody else is a
So this
villager.
is a in-person game?
It's a game, yeah.
Okay.
The guy that created the game Werewolf went ahead and said he did this to prove like essentially the mob mentality, hive mentality, whatever. And the more majority wins is usually wrong. So with that, you play a game. Let's say there's 15 people, there's two werewolves. If the two werewolves last to the end, to the last 4 people, they win the game. Majority of the time, I don't know what the statistics are, but majority of the time the werewolves are going to win. Okay. If 4 people and there's no werewolves, the villagers win. So what happens is they say who they think it is. It's kind of like Among Us, right?
Oh.
Whoever it is. And what happens is, oh yeah, that makes sense. They don't have any logical explanation to why. What happens is people will start ganging up. And they will see, okay, this is not so you like that because so many people are so inclined to peer pressure. And so the hive mentality, whenever majority of people, and I learned this I'm just going to say I learned this around 2016. Okay. 2016 to 2020 is when I started learning this stuff. I'm just going to say the more people that agree with something, the more wrong it probably is. Especially when you look at media and their way of manipulation and all that other kind of stuff. Project Bluebird, Blackbird, Mockingbird, Project Mockingbird. And when you look up this stuff, anyways, that has nothing to do with what they bring to the table. But in general, having that kind of thing is not, anytime it's the masses.
Yeah.
For sure.
100%. So people like you and I, we are what I would call divergence. We are unboxable people. We have so many. Earlier, you talked about having multiple facets of your personality.
Right, a multifaceted personality.
Yeah, and like how many aspects of that can somebody bring out of you based on that person's capability to do so.
Right.
So like, as such, there's just too many people on an app like Tinder that are opposite. So then when I show up and I'm a stunt car driver, spoken word, all these different things.
Wait, you do spoken word too?
Yeah, that's why I was going to
I
come
think
out to
we
your
talked
poetry
about
thing.
that before a little bit. Oh, I think we did. That was like probably a year or so ago. We
Right.
talked about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So like, and it's like anti-hood. Well, what do you mean anti-hood? Well, why do you have straight? Oh, he must be gay. Da da da. So Kansas City's so quick to
Wait,
try
is that a thing? Like if you're not hood, you're gay?
because of my straight hair.
Oh,
You
but
know.
I just think you're Black Fabio.
That's fair.
That's who you are to me. Like you're just Black Fabio, so you have straight hair, so you could be like this.
Right.
With your shirt off.
And you
like-
said that the day that I was driving, I had the white button-up shirt. It was like unbuttoned. I did have the vibe going on. We're not gonna lie.
For the record, I've not like seen him with his shirt off. That's not my go-to. We don't have that relationship. But
It was
I
on
just feel
Snapchat.
I just feel like he needs the wind blowing in his face with his hair just like this, and then him doing like this.
It's gonna happen.
Well, like
Yeah.
that's how I
With
feel
the
like
on the boat
that's-
with the thing,
that works too.
Because that was, I think that's what he was known for. Some of that, like it wasn't an Italian guy.
I thought he was a romantic novel cover model.
Yeah.
So like he was just known for.
But they reference him in
looking-
movies.
Well,
Or
they do
he's-
now because he was so big. He was a model essentially. And I think he was known for, like, he became known. And I don't know this. I'd have to look this up.
I thought he was fictional.
No, he's real.
Oh shoot.
But he's real based off of, like, so when you write a romantic novel, you put somebody who looks something beautiful, a beautiful man on the cover,
Yeah.
right? And so with that, Fabio, they used him for covers of romantic novels because he was a model, and so I think that's where his modeling came from. But
I didn't know.
I mean,
that.
I don't really know. Like, Fabio's supposed to be a beautiful man.
Right.
He's not very attractive to me. That's no dig to you by saying
fine.
you're Black Fabio.
No, I get it because like because essentially he's got that. It's a weird mixture of the mystic and the flowy
Well, it's
and
like-
masculine put
And when
together.
he came about, he had, like, the hair that was like
Yeah,
a man with long hair.
He's like a
could
Casanova.
work. Yeah.
you know, like vampire-y,
Yeah.
you know.
And it's like, oh, he's very 18th century.
Yes, that vibe.
And, like, he looks rich, like from the 18th century rich.
Mm-hmm.
So he probably has a whole $500 in his bank account. And, like, he works out, so, you know, he cares about health. And so, like, what do y'all think about Fabio? I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah, where's the chat at?
I know, nobody's chatting. There's people on, but I don't know who it is.
Oh, it's so funny.
If it was Anna, that would be nice, because Anna likes to speak.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was on because I just like sign in or something like that. No, it's not.
Oh my gosh. Anyways.
But yeah, so yeah, the table. You know, I think back to the thing. So yeah, I think Tinder has ruined aspect of the table. I will say that I think men, to make themselves more valuable at the table, should focus on. Again, I've said this before in other podcasts and places. Men should focus on the most non-spoken, most popular form of communication there is, which is body language, to be able to understand their woman without having to have them speak to explain themselves, because most women won't. They want to be understood. So you're making that face.
I can't even be mad because I might not be ready to talk about it, but I want you to know something's wrong with that, with me telling you nothing.
Yes.
And so I get it. Like, I'm actually, as far as women go in generalization, I'm more communicative than most women. But I still very much so. Was that for the cat? What is she?
I have no idea.
Bro, if y'all could.
It's not been worth it.
She needs to chill. Okay. Of course, that's Ayana making all kinds of noise with the toy I told her to put away. So, with that being said, I totally forgot because she clunked up these stairs.
So, yes, you being a person who explains things.
Yes. So, in general, I typically, and I will just, but when I say it, I just say it. So, the problem comes with, like, why are you ignoring me? And it's not like, I think lately I feel like you've been ignoring me, or why are you ignoring me? No, I've sent you all this stuff and you haven't responded or even noticed, whatever the case is, whatever. But then it seems like a problem, but it's not. It's because I'm trying to just tell you.
Yeah.
Because if I sugarcoat it, you're going to be like, well, what's going on? And if I don't, then it's going to be like, so it's, I don't know where to be in that sense.
That's fair.
Like, that's a very, I try to just bring it, and I do my best to just bring it, and then it's not perceived, or it's perceived wrong, and then it's like, so do you want me to tell you or not? So then if it's do you, and this is in my experience, you know, so it's like, if you want me to tell you, I'll tell you, but then when I tell you, you complain about the basic, essentially the way that I bring it to you.
Yeah.
But it's like, my thing is, the quickest way from point A to point B is direct, right?
Yeah.
Straight line. So I'm trying to be direct with you. And when I'm not direct, I don't even know what to do. I don't know how to be like, well, you know, my feelings and da 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 da. I could be like, I'm hurt. My feelings are hurt.
Yep.
I don't like when you do this. But as far as like really like getting
And
into
that,
it, I don't.
my God, what a breath of fresh air for you to just say it.
Well, you say that until we have a problem. Let's until you date me. No, I'm just kidding.
Man, like, I don't know, because like, so I'll speak for myself. In all my relationships, I don't argue. I've never had an argument because it's always been constant communication. It's been quality communication. It's,
And you can have discussions. It shouldn't be
and
an
it's
argument.
like at a point of an argument, the man is lost, because an argument usually facilitates a heightened emotional state of existence, and so that in itself is not congruent or a good conductor of quality discussion.
I think I agree with you.
You're lashing out, or you're on the defensive, and so then you're at that point not listening to understand. You're listening to be ready to fire back.
You're listening to respond. And
to respond, and it's not conducive. Yeah. Like, so like for me in my relationships, like it's okay, hey, first off, again, I've done the hard work, the internal work.
Right.
It is hard, but of understanding social and emotional awareness to feel when something's off. Now I can give you the space to come to me when you're ready, because maybe it's just something you're going through yourself.
And maybe the space is you just saying, hey, something doesn't feel right, and if I'm right, I just want you to know that I'm here when you want to talk.
Yeah. And then that would work too.
Because I'd be like, I don't want to talk. Nothing's wrong. But then later I'll be like, well, he did say I could come to him. So, okay. So in the sense of what do you, Tokyo, bring to the table?
Absolutely nothing. No, I that's a great question. And a horrible question, because I'm in a process of rebuilding in my life. So I would say I don't bring anything to the table except for self-awareness, empathy, protection, and a great ambition to question and understand the universe as a whole. And I think that in itself will come off very...
So you can't pay my bills is what you're saying. Like that's a lot of words to say I can't provide. That's a lot of words to say you're broke.
Oh Lord! Which would it would come across that way. Now, I would say that that's not this.
No, I know. I know your job situation. You do have a new job because of the fact that there is more room to grow. Mm-hmm. So I get it than what you used to do.
Correct.
You went from making straight six figures plus to doing something because you saw potential and growth.
Yep.
And so you're trying something different to see if you can make more. So
right.
I mean, I get it. Mm-hmm. I also don't want you to pay my bills. So
can you pay my bills? Pay my bills.
But wait, I'm independent and I can pay my own bills.
Ain't that something?
Like, what? I don't.
No. The other side, which is, and most of these modern women, where it's like, I'm independent, but I need you to pay my bills. Ain't that something?
You ain't independent then. I don't.
Because you'll see them say it.
I don't need you to pay my bills, but I want you to pay my bills.
Lord help us. But I like it though. I here's my thing. If you guys are, because this is where I draw the line. Mm-hmm. It's with the simps. It's with oh, you know what? Your outfit's so cute today. Here's $20 on Cash App. Okay,
I need to find me some simps because nobody ever. No. Somebody sent me $2 one time when I was being funny. I was being funny on Instagram. I'd be like, they'd be like, oh my gosh. So then when I have my questions and stuff like that or whatever, and people say stuff crazy, and so I'll put my Cash up there. And somebody was being funny and sent me $2, and I was like,
man,
I was like, bro, I do not have Sims, or I do not know how to work Sims. Which I don't, in general, I don't want to work Sims. Yeah, don't, because I don't. Okay, but where they at though?
So the truth is, I would be willing to bet that your personality doesn't allow for Sims, because your not brashness, because it's not a bad thing, but your God, what words are hard today?
They are. My thoughts are hard today.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like, how you are doesn't allow the simp to, dare I say, mold you into this mental fairy princess thing that they do with women.
But I believe in fairy tales. You know, it's funny that you say that.
Did you say something about princess or being a princess, or you wanted to?
Probably. So, do you know who? Okay. If you're just tuning in and you have no idea who I am, Wesley is my boyfriend.
Oh Lord, there
Wesley.
he is.
Okay, Wesley.
I wish you could put
exist.
a photo of him
When this gets edited, there will be a photo of Wesley right here. Okay.
and his hair.
Wesley is awesome. Okay. Wesley is also known as AKA the Dread Pirate Roberts, and it's true love. Okay. I fell in love with a farm boy, and he always says, "As you wish." So Wesley is from the movie The Princess Bride, which is my favorite movie. So I said Wesley because it's about true love. The movie is about true love. And so that is my, that's where Wesley comes from. So that's Wesley. That. Wesley from The Princess Bride, because he believes in true love. He did everything to protect her. Even when she was engaged to Prince Humperdinck, he was like, "Oh, but it took you no time at all to get engaged, huh?" And she was like, "My dear Wesley died, and I did not love another." And it's just this beautiful story. If you have not seen The Princess Bride, you have to watch The Princess Bride. It's the most beautiful love
That's what
story.
The chick that's like a nerd in high school and finds out she's like the princess or something.
Oh my gosh, no, that's Princess Diaries. The Princess Bride was in 1984 or 1987. One of those 2 years. Either my year or 1987. So The Princess Bride is the greatest cinematic masterpiece of all time. And the fact that you have not seen it.
Well, it was an 80s movie. Of course I didn't see it.
I don't know how we're friends. No.
Anything that's not HD.
Wait, what year were you born?
No, that's a magical question. Remember last time.
Okay, were you born in the 90s or you were born in the 90s? You were born in the 80s? You were born in the 70s? You were born in the 70s?
No, I'm joking. It is. I like to claim that I'm 50 and.
Okay, but what decade were you born in?
It is a mystery that
Okay, tell me off air.
I possibly can.
You don't have to tell me the year, but I want to know what decade.
Okay.
Okay, you can tell me off air. That's his secret. His secret is his age.
Yes. How do
age
I keep
is
this?
nothing but a number once you're legal. Dun dun dun.
Right. Well, and I like that she said that too, because I hope that I can look good enough that if I'm single and I'm like 55 years old, and some.
I thought you were younger than me. I thought you were like 33.
And some like younger person, like some 21-year-old's like, "Oh my God, I like your style. Like, can we get coffee?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, "Oh, I'm old enough to be your dad." I'm not your dad. Like,
you know how many young dudes be hitting on me? I'll be like, "Bro, I can't. You're my kid's age."
That's your parent though.
Like, I am a parent. That's true. You're not. And so, I had this dude hit me on Instagram. And I was just play flirting in the comments or whatever. Somebody was like, "Marry me." And I was like, "Yes." I was kidding. So he sent me a friend request. So I accepted it because he followed me. And I followed him back because I wanted to see who this person was. Like, I don't even know who this person is. I was curious, okay? And then I'm like, this dude is yuck. So he gives him my inbox because we follow each other and go directly. And I said, "How old are you?" "Oh, 22. "Sir. Young man. That's gross. Like,
what? Did you really say that?
I'm too old for you." He's like, "What? You don't look." He's like, "You look a little older than me, but you look like about," I think he said like 25 or something like that. I said, "Sir, my daughter is 19. You could date her." Like, this is not.
And I think that's really it. If you just had the little one, I don't think it'd be so bad. But the fact that you do have a daughter that's 19, it just skews that narrative. Because I tell you, some football player in the NFL that's 23, 22 years old, that's like, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to put a ring on it." How are you going to say no?
I mean, he would have to really woo me. Honestly, I had this guy who made $10 million a year try to holler at me. And I was like, no.
Was he fit and was he tall?
He was fit. Everybody's tall compared to me. I'm 4'11", so I don't know how tall he was. He was like attractive.
Okay.
But the whole reason why I talked to him was because I asked him if he could mentor me.
Oh, so you weren't even looking at him like that.
So he asked me if, he said, "Hey, I have some books for you. Can I send you some books? Whatever." I said, "Yeah, cool." He started sending me flowers instead. And I'm like, but I have books. Like, I read the books that I have. So I'm really interested in growing. And the fact that I was denying him, I think, like, he's not used to that.
Yeah.
And so it's like, like, I don't care about the money. And then he was like, he showed me he's like a total douchebag. So like, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care about how much cash flow you got. I'm not going to put up with that behavior. Like, this is not acceptable. I don't know what you're used to. So even still, like, for me, yeah, it'd be great. I could be with somebody who makes 10 million a year. That's great. But like, what does that come with? And
Right.
if I didn't help you build it, what does that come with? I think
Correct.
is the question.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And to me, again, it goes back to earlier we were talking about that, make a lot of money and just turn it and burn them, right? First
right.
off, I don't believe in being wasteful. If you are, a good experience, why would I not bring you back? Like, why would I burn?
this is a good
Like,
point.
like it's so dumb. I don't get it. Like, these walk of shames and stuff. No, if we vibed well and it was good and nothing was off or funky,
Right.
then why the heck wouldn't I call you back and say, hey, yo, like, let's go see a movie? Because
Right.
as a guy, at least for me, if I've secured the physical experience, now I'm open to doing all the other cool, cutesy stuff.
I think one thing that people don't realize is that at some level, when a man does that, and this is knowing a lot of men, and I'm going to say this is a generalization, this is not always the case, okay, but there is some level of trauma for him as well when he does that. And so there's a lot of men that I know personally that have been maybe when they were like 12, they had a babysitter that was like 16 and took advantage of them, or there was the whole well, if you don't sleep with people, the easily peer pressure, because they were bullied really when they were younger. So it's like, oh,
Okay.
if you don't sleep with a lot of people, then you're this.
Yeah.
And so it's like there's some sort, and that's a level of trauma for some people.
Okay.
And I think that people don't realize that, because I don't believe in general that most men are like, I'm just gonna sleep with women and cut them off. Like, that's not.
Yeah.
I have a lot of men friends. I was in the Marine Corps, so that was 6% female when I joined, and so I have genuine friends. Okay.
Brothers in
I think,
arms.
yeah, and I think me and you are genuinely friends.
Yeah.
You've already talked about how this is a rare
Correct.
instance
Yeah.
where you have a female friend.
Right.
And so, and that's how we look at each other, as friends. And so with that being said, like, just talking to men and the men that I know, like, I know I have like a unique life and I have unique people, and I'm always into random people. I don't have a circle that looks the same. Okay, like, all my circles are totally different for all the people that I know and vibe with, because I've been through so much. I have so many experiences. I can empathize, sympathize, whatever what people go through, whatever the case is. But in general, I think that men who are extremely promiscuous, they might even have daddy issues, where it's like you have, for instance, I have a friend that is a millionaire, and his father was never there. His father and mother got divorced when he was like, he was a teenager. So like
Okay.
maybe 13, 14-ish. I don't know exactly the age, but he said I was a teenager. So he said I was a young teen.
Okay.
So I'm assuming 12 to 15 maybe. So still in high school, whatever. Well, he lived with his dad, and his dad was always working. And he saw his mom like when he wanted to, but like it wasn't, he just lived with his dad. And so it was just kind of funny, because he wanted his dad to want him. He wanted his dad to give him attention. He wanted his dad. And so with that, even still, I don't know. I never really ask too many questions when people open up about something that seems, I might ask a little, but I don't want to feel like I'm prying.
Yeah.
So, and then he wound up being, I'm going to use the word womanizer,
Okay, yeah.
being a womanizer. But he did that because he wanted attention from his dad. And so he saw his dad was always working and all this stuff. So he had to obtain that in order to get a woman that would actually want him.
Yeah.
And so it's like there's some kind of trauma. I think that a lot of times when we look at it and we take out the nuclear family, and the family is so important, that we have so many times where that happens. That trauma there's some sort of trauma, and like I don't sit here and be like, I have PTSD. Oh my gosh, I do.
Yeah.
I'm fucked up. But I've watched people die in my arms. I've watched people die, like, murdered. Like, I've seen people, all kinds of stuff, okay? I don't constantly tell people that I don't live in a place like that. A lot of people
Yeah.
I know, because I'm in a veteran community, don't talk about that kind of stuff. They might bring it up if the conversation comes up or whatever, but in general, they're not like, hey, but then you have people who are raised in different situations, and because their tolerance for things is not as high, their PTSD could be their parents getting divorced.
Yeah.
Their PTSD could be, my dad never gave me any attention. Their PTSD could be,
I know a lot of people.
You
Well, I
know?
don't know. I know I've met a lot of people in the art community whose PTSD is literally COVID and the fact that they're inside the house, forced inside the house.
that's hilarious to me. We put out these, we put out stuff. I have depression because you had a bad day and you're sad. That is not depression. I have anxiety. I get anxious. I don't struggle with anxiety. I get anxious if I drive and like I'm on the right or left side and I can't exit, and there's like cars kind of like there's a truck over here
Understandable.
and I can't get around.
Right.
Or if I see a plastic bag on the middle of the highway and I can't move around it. Oh, I get so anxious. I'm like, I get so anxious because it could be like in my mind, my reaction.
Like it's on the ground or it's just floating.
No, it's on the ground. In my reaction is it's a bomb.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I know it's probably a bag, but what if it's not? Like, that's kind of my thought. Like, but what if? Okay, so I run over a plastic bag on the highway, and I'm like, okay, and then like I grab. So I get anxious, but I don't have anxiety.
Right.
I do deal with depression, like real depression. But if I have a bad day, it's not because I'm depressed today. And I
Right.
think we overuse these words, PTSD, depression. Anyways,
Yeah.
what do you bring to the table? Let's bring it back. I don't know how to
Yes.
bring it back. We're done for
Yes.
this episode.
Yes. What do you bring to the table?
If we have another topic, we will go live one more time today.
Yes.
And then I'm getting editors somewhere to edit and post videos, and this will not be in there. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. And the question is, what do you bring to the table? And how do you feel about that question? And we may or may not at least do one more video
Yeah,
for
it's
today. But I think I'm going to make him watch The Princess Bride.
Oh.
The fact he's never seen it is flipping crazy. So,
Somebody help me.
cheers.